Coast. The Mount San Antonio Mountains. Okay, that's good.
Moments away from kickoff at Saddleback taking on Mount SAC here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. SCFA football. Stick around. And a very pleasant good evening, and we welcome Saddleback College taking on Mount San Antonio College. I am Jeff Stoynoff, joined by the voice of Gaucho football, Brad Hoyseth. And Brad, thanks for joining us so much. Glad to have you here. And it's an interesting story. These are two teams, very storied franchise, very storied programs here in the SCFA over the last any number of years. But two teams right now in a little bit of peril as they look ahead to the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to figure that this is actually a really important game for both these teams. I mean, they both had kind of unusual starts. Saddleback starting out with a couple of losses, and then they've kind of collected themselves a little bit, and they've gotten back to looking a little bit like the Saddleback we're used to. And then Mount SAC, of course, everybody shocked by the 13-0 loss a couple of weeks ago to Chaffee. That's the one I think that sticks out to everybody. But certainly this is a big game right here because next week they got a bye, and then they go into league play. And this is a big game if you want to have some sort of an edge when it comes to a tiebreaker situation.
Yeah, and this year, and we were talking about this a little bit as we were getting ready for the broadcast tonight, this is a year where it's not going to get any easier. It's a very wide-open SCFA right now with any number of teams with legitimate chances at getting to the playoffs and advancing in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't seem like Fullerton is quite the team they've been. They're obviously still really good. They keep winning, but I think it's a wide-open game, like you said.
This one angled to the far side. Jackson's going to take it at the 2. Out to the 10, makes a move there. He's at the 15, trying to ward off tacklers, and he's brought down short of the 20. Good coverage on the kick. The Mounties will start their first drive at the 18-yard line, led by quarterback Steven Nava. Nava, thus far in the season, is the leading passer in the Central Division of the National Conference. So the Gauchos continue. Or I should say, the Mounties have thrown the ball well, but they've struggled on the ground running the football this year, and that's a little bit of a change for them.
Yeah, a little unusual. When you look at Mount SAC, you usually think of the big offensive linemen, the guys in the middle, and pounding the ball forward. And every once in a while they slip in a guy like Delaney Walker, who's kind of unusual for them. But nevertheless, you usually think of them as more the running style football team.
So Nava at the controls, both receivers split out to the right. And we do want to alert you to one of the little idiosyncrasies of the stadium here at Mission Viejo High School, where Saddleback is playing their home games this year. The field a little washed out, the sun just at one of those angles for the first hour of the game where we're going to be bathed in sunlight. We're going to have a little sun in our eyes over here on the opposite side, but we'll do the best we can to keep the picture for you. And the good news is it'll get better as the night goes on. We'll get a clearer picture as the night goes on.
You know, I'm from the Midwest, so I could end up looking like a strawberry by the end of this night. My complexion will change entirely.
We got to keep you shaded. First down carry for Massey, and he is hit at the line. No gain on the play.
Yeah, last couple of weeks for the Gauchos, they've been very good against the rush. They held Pasadena City to -1 yards a couple weeks back. And when you look at them on paper, it doesn't really make any sense because they're very small up front, but they're very quick. And we'll see how that plays out with that bigger offensive line of Mount Sac.
And it is Esfonso Elam in the backfield getting the start. There have been a carousel of receivers early on as Nava looks to throw and completes the pass out near the original line of scrimmage, a little bit past it, going to Jackson. Jackson's been Nava's favorite receiver this year. He leads the team in catches.
Yeah, it's just a nice play on the edge there by Corey Cincino to come up and make the tackle real quickly. Now it's 3rd and long. Not a very good situation if you're Mount Sac early on here.
Yeah, it was a penalty that set them back before the first play. Straight drop for Nava, guns it over the middle, in traffic, and the catch is made. Zion Eccles for a big gain down the far side into Gaucho territory before he's run out of bounds.
Nava just kind of looked like one of those balls where if he's a little off the mark, either team could have had it, but it's a nice play for Mount Sac early on.
Eccles comes in with 15 catches, just a little under 10 yards a catch, but that was a big gain all the way to the Gaucho 44-yard line. That's a gain of 37 yards. That's far and away his long catch of the season. Receivers left and right, back to a 1st and 10 for the Mounties. Play action, quick throw on the far side. Catch is made going back to Jackson, who's wrapped up immediately after a 4-yard pickup.
It's 3 times in a row now they've gone to that right side of the field with a throw. Maybe they see something over there they can exploit.
Yeah, working on Corey Cincino. Over on the left side of that Gaucho defense. It's a pickup of 4. And a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Just underway. Beautiful night for football. Nava again with good protection. Airs it out, going back. Looking for Jackson and just overthrown.
Yeah, again, they were going after Cincino, and the coverage is okay, but there was a little overshot him, and now you got another big 3rd down situation for Mount Sac.
Yeah, and no help really for Cincino over the top, so showing a lot of faith in him over on that far side. They're working against Jackson really one-on-one. So a 3rd down and 6 as Nava looks over the Gaucho defense. First possession of the night. Gaucho showing blitz. And now Nava's going to look to the sideline. Still plenty of time on the play clock, 14 seconds. As Nava will direct traffic. Has the snap, blitz coming. Good protection, steps up over the middle. Jackson with the catch, 1st down and more. Brought down at the 25-yard line. Cincino with the stop. But a 13-yard gain moves the chains. And the Mounties have a drive going.
Yeah, that's 6 straight plays now. They've gone after Cincino on that side of the field.
Jacob Ford, Brandon McMaster in the backfield for the Mounties on 1st and 10. Handoff, off tackle on the right side, and a pickup of a couple as McMaster's play gets it down to the 33. So a 3-yard run brings up 2nd down and 7. That was Sifo Mailangi. They're moving over, and you see the power of McMaster. Mailangi's just just your standard defensive end, but Ford was able to fall forward there. So
yeah,
or I should say McMaster.
The Gauchos are a little thin up front this year. They're very quick and they can move around quickly, but as we saw in the 4th quarter against Ventura, they got a little worn down in that one.
Yeah, it's not a good sign if your defensive linemen are giving up their body to make a stop on a guy. 2nd down and 7. 4 wide receiver set. Gauchos drop off and rush 3. Nava fires over the middle. Touchdown! The Mounties strike on the opening possession on a skinny post. Zion delivers another strike, an impressive opening drive for the Mounties.
Yeah, they were, by my count, 2 for 2 on 3rd down. One of them was a big long one, 3rd and 9, where they picked up about 30 yards. And that's a good recipe right there. When you can pick up your 3rd downs, chances are you're going to be pretty successful.
So that'll bring on Gabriel Dunkel for the extra point. Placement down, kick is up. And it's good. So the Mounties go 85 yards on the opening drive and take a 7-0 lead. Saddleback and Mount Sac on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Back to Mission Viejo, and the Gauchos immediately with some work to do. Trailing this one 7-0. It had been a good run for the Gauchos after an 0-2 start the last couple of weeks. They've been very impressive, but not against the top competition in the SCFA the last couple of weeks. They've got a bigger challenge here against the Mounties. Good return out past the 20, but the hole closes quickly. And the Gauchos will start at the 21-yard line with Patterson at the controls.
Yeah, Jaden Scheiberl on the return. He looked like he had somebody by the Mounties.
So it'll be Patterson. An interesting mirror between these two teams this season. Both teams really struggling on the ground, averaging just around 100 yards a game as a team. Both teams averaging in the mid-3s yards per carry as a team. And that's a departure from what we've seen the last few years from these programs. But pretty one-sided offensively, and that certainly makes the job tougher. First pass incomplete. Patterson was looking for Kalen Coates.
Gauchos in hurry-up mode here all of a sudden.
Well, this figures to be a high-scoring contest. Handoff on the right side. Johnson lowers the shoulder. Ho Ching finally brings him down at the 27-yard line. That's a good run of 6 yards, and it brings up a 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, they just followed big Terrence Smith, kid out of Las Vegas. We got him listed at 385. Rumor has it he checked in at 408 one Monday morning, so he's a big fella, and that's a good plan. Just follow the big kid.
They stack the receivers left and right on 3rd down and 4 for the Mounties, who come in converting 37% on 3rd down for the season. Blitz coming. Patterson sheds one tackle. He's on the run, looking left, and the pass is dropped. Well, that was 1st down yardage, but just a straight drop going back to Coates. And it's a 3-and-out for the Gauchos on their opening drive.
It's one of those things that's just kind of jumped up and bit the Gauchos a handful of times this year. I mean, guy's wide open. He's running before he catches the ball. The next thing you know it, you're in punt formation.
So back to punt. Harrison Avila averaging just over 40 yards a kick on the season. Gets this one away. Good kick. Alloway backing up to take this one at the 27. Check that. It's not Alloway on the return. That's Schofield, and he gets around the corner. Good return out past the 45-yard line. Let's see where they end up spotting it. They'll spot it at the 44. So that's a 22-yard return for Schofield. And after the good kick from Avila, the Mounties still end up with very good field position.
Yeah, if you're the Gauchos now, you got to buckle it up a little bit here. I mean, you gave up a couple of big plays. You had chances to stop them the first time around. And now they got a really good starting field position here, and they're already up 7-0. So, and you got the sun in your face. That might be the worst thing.
Alfonso Elam in the back field, I should say, with Steven Nava, the quarterback. 2 wide receivers to the near side for the Mounties, working in the road white jerseys, going from right to left here in the opening quarter. Nava gives to Elam. Dancing in the backfield now, starts to pick his way forward. He's hit and stopped after a gain of about 4.
It's a good start for the Gaucho defense. The last thing you want to do is give up another quick one and go down 14-0 and see if they can make themselves a nice little stand here, give their offense a chance to get back on the field.
Well, Saddleback offensively only averaging 3.3 yards per carry, making them somewhat one-dimensional. But they are making opposing offenses incredibly one-dimensional. They're only allowing 2.3 yards per carry as a defense against the run.
They've been very stout, which will be tested here tonight against this big offensive line of the Mounties.
And whistles before the snap. Let's see what the call is. This looks like timeout on the field. 9:57 to go in the opening quarter. You're watching Saddleback football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Second down and 7 for the Mounties from their own 47-yard line. They give it on the ground, running left, and nothing doing. Brunell with the stop on Elam.
That's kind of running right at Saddleback's strength. I mean, they're kind of an east-west defense. They're very quick from side to side. So if you're going to run it wide on them, you got to have a wide receiver out there giving you a chip block, and there's just nobody out there that time.
So Brunel managed to pick, or I should say Elam managed to pick up about a yard. So it's a 3rd down and 6, converting third downs at 36% so far this season.
If I look down on the field, Cincino has switched sides of the field. I wonder if that happens anything.
Nava looking right, throws, and it's broken up. Trying to go back to Eckridge. Manny Pelter.
Yeah, that's a nice play right there. The Gauchos desperately needed to get a stop. The last thing you want to do is see Mount Sac go 3 for 3 on those 3rd down conversions. That was getting a little tiresome.
Romy Innocenzi retreating deep to return the kick from a kick on the season. Innocenzi waiting back at his 10-yard line. High kick. Innocenzi going to let this one bounce at about the 20. Now rolls back near the 30. So it's a short kick, and the Gauchos will take over at the 29-yard line. That's a kick of just 24 yards.
Yeah, we got a flag on the play. I think the Gauchos are going to hit for roughing the kicker.
And it is going to work against the Gauchos. That brings the Mountie offense back onto the field, and they already lead at 7-0, and now they get another opportunity.
There's a handful of things that have really hurt this Saddleback team over the first 4 weeks. Number 1, the drop passes, and number 2, the 15-yard penalties. We've seen both of those coming into play here already.
We've seen
We're
one
just
of
a
each
handful
now.
of minutes into the game.
Yep. Quarter.
You can only ask your defense to go out there and do so much.
Well, they got a tough assignment now. The football resting at the Gaucho 37-yard line. So a three wide receiver set. Offset I formation behind Nava. They give it to the deep back, straight ahead, and a pickup of about 5 down to the 32-yard line. And that's Rashad White. And White has come on of late for the Mounties in the backfield as they're still searching for a workhorse back there this season, trying a bunch of different guys. And White's coming off a strong performance last week.
Yeah, Mount Sac's is one of those big physical teams, and in the first quarter that gain is 4 yards. In the third quarter it might be 14. You know, they kind of lean on you and they tire you out.
They stick with the same formation on 2nd down and 5. High snap. Nava's got it. Back to White. Manages to fall forward for a gain of a couple. And a 3rd down and 3 coming up. A little surprised to see this kind of commitment to the run from the Mounties, and an awful lot of success throwing the football on the opening drive with Jackson and Eccles, and eventually it was the big play to Eccles.
Yeah, you know, I am and I'm not really. I mean, I just look at the undersized defensive line of Saddleback, and, you know, I think at some point you just got to try to wear that down. That's what Ventura did. If you recall, the Ventura game in week 2 was a 1-point game in the fourth quarter. And when Ventura just started, okay, we're just going to run the ball, and the Gauchos just couldn't stop them. They got tired.
Nava on the roll. This one's picked off inside the 5. Just a little bit underthrown.
That's Colton Larsenval over there. He came into the game for Cincino in this drive that I didn't see number 2 out there this time. I don't know if it had something to do with the first drive or if something else, but he was replaced real quickly by Larsenval, who made a nice play right there.
Yeah, taking a look at the replay here, and for a moment it looked like he had a man, but Nava not quite enough on the throw. And it's Larsenval, who I believe had an interception in the Ventura game.
He's had a good season for the Gauchos, really. That whole secondary has played well. That's the strength of this defense. They're fast, but can they hold up for 60 minutes? That's the critical thing in a game like this.
Well, if you're looking for good news if you're the Mounties, it functions like a good corner kick. As they pin the Gauchos back deep, they'll start on the ground out to the 10-yard line.
Gauchos just trying to get themselves a little extra space, backed up to their own end zone, and good little power run right there. I like that look.
Jonathan Jefferson on the carry. Again, these two teams really mirror images of each other. It's also the Gauchos really looking for an answer, a workhorse back there, trying a couple of different guys. And it's Jefferson starting to get some more carries over the last couple of weeks. 2nd down and 5. Straight snap to Patterson, back to the ground this time, going nowhere. Pickup of maybe a couple.
That's 3rd down and probably 3 now. This is a critical play for the Gauchos here. Got to avoid any sloppy drops or anything like that. This is the kind of thing where when the Gauchos are playing their best football, this is easy stuff for them. But this year it's been a little more difficult.
Algene Fisher on the carry, and he'll remain in the backfield on 3rd and short. Mounties showing blitz. They go back to Fisher straight ahead. He's very close to the 1st down marker. This one's going to come down to the spot.
Yeah, it looks like maybe they're going to be a little bit short. It looks like both of those referees have got their plant foot just a hair short of the 15, and that's 4th down. The Gauchos still got the offense out there, and we'll see what Mr. McElroy decides here.
Tukuafu on the stop with Maroney.
I think the Gauchos might go for it here. They might roll the dice early.
This is unbelievable. 4th down. They're going to line up to go for it from their own 14-yard line. And now whistles come in, and a timeout taken.
I think cooler heads may have prevailed there. I mean, it's early. You're down 7-0. Your defense really, other than a couple plays, hasn't played that badly. Mount Sac doesn't look all that scary on offense.
This is a Jack Buck, I don't believe what I just saw type of situation if they would go for it here in this situation, 4th down. Especially, this is a team that's struggling to run the football.
Well, Coach McElroy's always been kind of a maverick. I mean, he'll take some chances. This one right here, though, that's not a chance I'd be taking in the 1st quarter.
Well, what's fascinating is I recall reading a book back in the day, and I'm trying to remember if it was something where it was all about the statistics of football and how numerically in certain situations you would do things that make absolutely no sense, like going for it deep in your own zone. And the thought was that what they realized over time as they gathered data was the teams who had the ball at their own 10-yard line, the other team, whether sooner or later, was overwhelmingly likely to score the next touchdown. So you may as well not fight the numbers and just kick it away. But I can only imagine how long coaches would last employing that kind of logic in the situation, even though there was some data, obviously, to back it up. The kick away from Avila, taken by Schofield again, looking for the far sideline, but he's wrapped up and stopped at the 45.
Yeah, if you're Mount Sac right there, you just wish that it was back in the 70s when the Metcalf brothers had the tearaway jerseys. That might have worked on that one, but he just grabbed onto some jersey there and held on for dear life, and ended up being a pretty good play for Saddleback.
I make my share of 80s references. You went all the way back to the 70s.
Yeah, well, I'm older than you. I got more gray hair.
That's it. Terry and Eric, though. Am I right for the Metcalf brothers? Is that
yes, Terry Metcalf and Eric Metcalf, I believe. You might be right on that.
So the Mounties take over with good field position again at their own 44-yard line, and they'll spread it out on 1st and 10. The give straight ahead, Elam twists his way forward for a gain of about 3. Clock continues to move down to 5:46 and counting remaining in the opening quarter.
Yeah, the way this thing's going along, it'll be done by about 8 o'clock this game.
No complaints. Sun starting to set. A perfect early evening for football here in Mission Viejo. It's SCFA football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Nava, straight drop, steps up, gets away from one, guns it over the middle, has a man. Another big play for the Mounties. Down to the goal line and in for a touchdown. Nava, 53 yards to pay dirt, and the Mounties now lead it 13-0. Let's take a look at the replay if we can bring that one back. Watch again here, and I'll tell you, Brad, there was a chance there to get Nava and give Nava some credit. He was able to pull away and then deliver a strike. Anderson.
Yeah, Nava just made that happen. He broke the containment outside. He had a guy behind and throws a nice pass, and that was an easy touchdown right there.
Yeah, Sagoon Olubi one-on-one there with Anderson, and Anderson had worked his way clear, and with 5:17 to go in the opening quarter, Mount San Antonio College off to a quick start. They lead it 14-0 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Back to Mission Viejo, and the Gauchos have dug themselves a first quarter hole. They trail it 14-0.
If you're Saddleback, I think you got to get out there, and your offense has got to give your defense a little bit of a break. I mean, you can't go out there and continue to have 3-and-outs against a team that obviously isn't afraid to throw it deep on you. I mean, they're going to score some points here tonight, Mount SAC, and the Gauchos' offense has to be a little more efficient.
So the Gauchos back on offense after the kick out of bounds. They'll start from their own 35, and you got better than 50 minutes remaining of football here, but Brad, they could use some points on this drive, at the very least a few first downs. Quick screen out to the far side, and Sykes.
That's a good start right there. I mean, those little bubble screens, running play, and if you can get 7 on first down, your chances are very good to get a first down.
That looked like Arrington on the far side, or? Meanwhile, second down carry out near the first down marker. And is this one good enough to move the chains? They haven't moved them yet, but yes. Johnson with a 3-yard carry. So a quick first down for the Gauchos. They have it at their own 45, and false start coming in here. We'll wait for the call.
Illegal procedure, snap infraction, number 79 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So the snapping violation, a 5-yard. Maybe it was Derrico over on the far side who had that first down catch. I'm a bear for detail, Brad. I wanted to eventually know who had it. I was going to stay on the case. 3 wide receivers bunched to the near side. Reeves in motion. Patterson under pressure, pop flies the near side, nobody. And luckily for the Gauchos, Conate able to come down with the football, but he was out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked as if Patterson, it looked like it was some sort of just quick timing pattern down the sideline. It was almost like a wheel route to the guy that was coming in motion, and he was throwing it to a spot on the field. Unfortunately, wasn't a Gaucho there.
So quickly now, second down and 15. Patterson with Johnson in the back. Batted in the air and nearly intercepted. He wanted Barry. Conate had very good coverage, and that ball nearly picked off. And now it's a 3rd and long coming up for the Gauchos.
Yeah, you can go back to that false start to start the second set of first downs here. And That sets you back in 1st and 15, and the Gauchos just aren't offensively that kind of team that could overcome that in years past. They got to quit taking those silly penalties, and otherwise they're going to be in 3rd and long every time.
The Gaucho fans trying to get into it here, see if they could pick up the Gaucho offense on 3rd and long. They'll empty the backfield. 3-man rush, quarterback draw. Patterson tripped up near the original line of scrimmage, well short of 1st down yardage, and on comes the punting unit for Saddleback.
That almost looked like a designed quarterback draw, did it not?
I think it was, yeah.
3rd and 15, that's an interesting call.
Well, I feel like we haven't seen a sack that I remember, but thus far the Mounties able to generate some pressure on Patterson, and you wonder if maybe just hoping to catch them in a blitz or something like that and find some wide open field.
It looked like he maybe just had one more guy to beat. I mean, there was a lot of open space over there, and it seemed as if guy kind of got him by the shoestrings.
Avila with another boomer. Schofield backing up, and he makes the fair catch back at the 9-yard line. 45-yard punt and no return. And Harrison Avila has had a very good first quarter, but it's not great news for your team when the punter's having the best game so far. And I think that's only fair to say for Saddleback with 3:35 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. The good part is there's a lot of football left. So
yep,
they got plenty of time, and if the Gauchos can get in here and get in front of one and get a pick off themselves or something, this thing could change quickly.
Both teams having a lot of success in terms of turnovers this season. Both teams are +5 over the first 4 weeks. The Gauchos have forced another turnover, but it was deep in their own territory. It did momentarily squelch a Mountie drive. Quick jet sweep to the near side. Good yardage out past the 20. Rashad White out to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, really nice block on the outside by one of the wide receivers there. As they got the corner hung up on the edge there, and running back did a nice job of cutting it up in there and had a lot of open field in front of him.
12-yard run immediately moves the chains. The Mounties out from the shadow of their own goalpost. They now have it 1st and 10 at their own 21. They overload the far side and then run it near side. White tripped up. Might have gotten a yard or two on the play.
It's a good tackle by Turner Tunkovic. He had the big game last week for the Gauchos.
And the Gauchos with an emphatic win at Moore Park, 41-3. I didn't get to see the game play by play, but I'm guessing a lot of guys had a big week last week.
Yeah, Moore Park had a tough time protecting their quarterback. I think they ended up with the 3rd quarterback in the game by the end of the game because the first 2 got injured. So they just had a really difficult time trying to protect their guy back there.
White was able to scratch out 3 yards on 1st and 10. Nava, short drop, double pumps, as that pass batted down at the line.
It almost looked like he just threw that one down into the turf. He realized it was a losing situation, and he just bailed on it and said, let's fight to see another down.
Nava completing 59% of his passes on the season, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. This is a guy who's clearly comfortable in the offense right now, and I think you see that there in a play like that where Nava doesn't try to do too much.
Well, he was on the team last year, and you forget they had the guy that had the big year that got hurt at the end of the season. Then Nava came in, and he was part of the rotation there at the end of the season. So there's nothing unfamiliar about this offensive set that he's looking at right now.
3-man rush on 3rd and 7. Nava with time, guns it over the middle. Terrific catch by Jackson, streaking into Gaucho territory all the way down to the 40-yard line. What a grab by Jackson, 31 yards. We'll take a look at the replay. Quickly to get up to the line, but Jackson here makes a tremendous one-handed grab.
Yeah, once again, it's single coverage, so the Gauchos go into a lot of single coverage. They might want to think about stepping back into his zone.
Plenty of rack for Chris Jackson after a terrific grab. Gets all the way to the Saddleback 40. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter, and it's been all Mounties so far. Blitz coming. And the give back to White. And he picks up about 2 before he's tripped up.
You know, I'm watching this running game and these backs for Mount SAC, and I'm a little puzzled that they haven't run the ball better this year. I mean, they've got some pretty athletic-looking guys back there running the football, and, you know, they're usually a great running football team, and I don't see why they haven't been so far. I mean, they must have done something differently in the first 4 games of the year.
As Funzo Elam back in the backfield on 2nd down and 8. Clock moving, 1:03 and counting remaining in the first quarter. And the Mounties, who started this drive at their own 9-yard line, have it at the Saddleback 38. Blitz coming. They screen it out. Pass complete inside the 35 back to Anderson, who had the big touchdown catch moments ago.
It's a critical down coming up for the Gauchos now. 3rd and 4. It's might even be 4-down territory for Mount SAC where they're sitting right now.
This part of the field, Gabriel Dunkel, the kicker for Mount San Antonio College, with a long of 38 on the season.
Well, they got the beef in there now with Jacob Ford, the up back, coming in.
And back in the deep eye, it's Malachi Thompson. This is Thompson's first appearance. 3rd down and 4. And they go to Thompson, trying to spin out of a tackle. He's still on his feet, but the Gauchos finally able to ride him down shy of the 1st down marker.
Well, it took 3 guys, but eventually somebody got him to the turf, and now the Mounties got a big decision to make.
4th down and 2 from the 32, but that's the end of the first quarter. We're through 1. Mount San Antonio College facing a 4th down, but leading at 14-0 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Mounties going to line up to go for it on 4th down and 2 from the 32 of Saddleback.
Yeah, let's see if they actually go for it, if they're just lining up to perhaps draw the Gauchos off sides. I doubt they would do that, just because then they'd have to use another timeout. But
offset I formation. Both teams have used a timeout. They're going to go for it. Nava with the play action. Has a man wide open. 1st down inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, the Gauchos were selling out on the run right there, and whenever you do that, somebody's going to get loose downfield.
And it was Antoine Jackson. And a little bit lucky there that I think Jackson on that play was so consumed with, I think, securing the football, which is, a good play. He had wide open field behind him, but I think he really wanted to catch that football and really, in fact, kind of went down to the ground just to make sure he had it on a very important 4th down. So the Mounties get the job done, but had he turned around there, not sure anybody was home.
Yeah, no, there you go.
Football's out. And the Gauchos have got it.
Well, that's what they need right there. Somebody just stripped it inside.
Yeah, Hakeem Massey on the carry, and we will take a look at the replay. And this is Massey's first carry. And, yeah, someone just gets a hand in there. The ball's free. And the Gauchos pounce on it, forcing their 2nd turnover of the night.
Yeah, they really needed that right there. The last thing you want to do is go down 21-0 early in the 2nd quarter.
Let's see how large that play ends up looming. Handoff on the right side and good yardage. Out near 1st down yardage for Saddleback.
Yeah, Algene Fisher's had a really nice couple of games here in a row. He started to get in the football game last couple of weeks, and he's had a couple touchdowns, and I really like to see from the kid. He's got some power. He's got a little burst.
It's a great job on the right side of that offensive line. Good running room for Fisher. 10-yard carry and a 1st down for Saddleback. Patterson setting up the screen, and again, it's incomplete. Pass a little low.
I think it's probably a good thing that was incomplete.
Yep.
I mean,
looking for Bama Smith.
Bama Smith had two guys bearing down on him, and I think it probably would have been a loss of 4 or 5 yards. There was just nothing there.
2nd down and 10 after the incompletion for the Gauchos, who have it at their own 27-yard line. They'll go back to Fisher. Pushes the pile for a gain of about 4. And a 3rd down and 6 coming up for Saddleback.
In years past, the Gauchos right here, they always had a guy like a Julian Edelman type guy that would go over the middle. He found a little seam, and the quarterback would hit him, and they'd seemingly get 8 or 9 yards every time.
Well, this year they're
just haven't been able to find that so far this year.
Instead, it's Patterson looking deep, but he throws this one up, and it's picked off. The Mounties get the ball back, and now there's a fumble. Back the other way. But hold everything. After the interception by Colin Keanu. And they're going to say, what was the call there? It was saying Keanu was down by contact.
They're saying that he was down. I don't know if they saw.
Well, let's see if we can.
It looked as if maybe
we have
his
the
elbow
tail end
or
here. Let me see if I
something.
can back this up here. Let's watch here. Just getting Keanu. You see Keanu on the return, and I think that's a good.
It would have been a really fortunate play for the Gauchos had it worked out, but to me, when I saw it, it looked as if perhaps his arm had hit the ground, and then the ground caused the fumble. And
that's a great job on camera, by the way, by Turner Knight, who's helping us out, and we appreciate the help from Turner getting the good tight shot there to show you. But yeah, Keanu, I think clear there that the ground caused that fumble, so the big turnover gives it back to Mount Sac in Gaucho territory. White on the carry and a pickup of about a yard to the 33-yard line.
For the Gauchos, when you're on offense on that play, though, sometimes you just gotta hold on to the football. I mean, there was really just nothing there. That play was well defended by Mount Sac. You can't just throw it up for grabs.
Yeah, Keanu, he's playing a shallow center field there for that interception. It's not going to get much easier. They swing it out to Eccles, trying to get the corner near the 1st down marker. Out of bounds at the 26. Sorry about that, Brett.
Mount Sac's got a lot of speed on the corners. You know, they got a lot of speed in those wide receivers and those running backs. And right now, if you're going to keep giving them single coverage, they're going to keep taking it. They feel comfortable that they can win the one-on-one battle.
And Nava's making good choices right now. He threw that one up that Larsonville had the interception, I think, trying to make a big play. And even on that play, if memory serves, he had his man open. He just couldn't get enough on the football. Larsonville moved over. Jumbo package. Thompson on the carry. Appears to have 1st down yardage. 2nd effort. He's inside the 20. Down to 7-yard run. Moves the chains. The Mounties back in the red zone. Well, just to show you how it's gone tonight, not too many trips into this may be their first trip into the red zone. It's been 2 big plays really leading to the touchdown so far. Back to Thompson running on the left side. Churns his legs. He's down to the 11-yard line, an 8-yard run. And you get the sense of Thompson as that kind of battering ram type back.
Yeah, like I said on that first drive of the game, if 4 yards could turn into 8, and then it turns into 12 or 15. And right now the Mounties just kind of leaning on the Gauchos, and that Gaucho defense looks like it's already gassed, and we're only just partly into the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, Jacob Ford. So the penalty against Saddleback, but the Mounties will take the play. And a 2nd down and 2 coming up from the 11-yard line. Ford and Thompson behind Nava. Back to Thompson. Cuts it back to the right. He's got the 1st down. Down to the 6-yard line. 5-yard run. Gives the Mounties a fresh set of downs. 11:37 and counting to go in the 1st half. And the Mounties deep in Gaucho territory, looking to extend on a 14-point lead. Quick snap. Thompson running right, hit behind the line, but manages to shed a tackle and get down to the 4. Well, he turns a loss of a couple into a gain of a couple.
It just seems like these guys never go down with the first point of contact. I mean, if somebody hits them a yard or 2 deep, they just keep going, and next thing you look up, they got positive yardage, 1, 2, 3, sometimes 7 or 8 yards.
2nd down and goal from the 4. Back to Thompson. Over his left guard. A good stand by the Gaucho defense. holding him to a yard. And a 3rd down and goal coming up from the 3.
3-yard line. 3rd and goal.
Well, the Mounties have been able to stretch the field downfield with their passing game, where the Gauchos have given a lot of single coverage. We'll see what they do here down in tight near the goal line.
Play action, Nava rolling out, looking in the end zone, nothing there. Now he's going to tuck it and run. He's right near the goal line. What's the call?
They're going to say he's down, I
He's
think,
down
about the half-yard
foot
line.
Shy.
That's
4th
pretty good.
and a foot coming up.
That's a pretty good collision down there near the goal line, and I thought one of the Gauchos was going to push him over the line there for a second.
Yeah. Was Leo Tamba all the way out with the hit on Nava.
Now Mount Saxon team lining up like they may go for it.
Well, 4th down and a foot. Can the Gauchos complete what would be an impressive goal line stand? 4th and inches. Nava under center. Thompson straight ahead. He's got the touchdown. Thompson finishes it off as the Mounties take advantage of the interception by Keanu and head in for another touchdown, and they now lead it 20-0.
Yeah, that was kind of a statement drive right there. You know, they just kind of went to the ground game. They only threw it when they had to on the 3rd and short play where they hit the tight end, or 4th and short, whatever it was.
Yep.
And but they did a lot of stuff on the ground there, and I kind of wondered if maybe that was perhaps going to be their game plan coming in. And it looks like I think you're going to see a lot of that from this point forward.
Yeah, the Mounties have raced out to a big lead. We have an injured Mountie player on the field, but up under his own power. And now we'll get ready for the extra point with 9:41 to go in the first half, and it's all Mount San Antonio College. Well, the Mounties, with the exception of the hiccup at Chaffee, where they lost 13-0 back in week 3, they're coming off an impressive win last week at home against East Los Angeles College, but they come in with a record of 3-1. But I would have to say, and we haven't been privy to every single snap of their season so far, but I doubt they've been much more impressive than this at any point in the season. This first about 20 minutes of football here and a 21-0 lead, and they have really dominated the action.
Yeah, it's been a pretty lopsided affair so far, and the Gauchos, we'll see if they can come out and make a good showing here on the next drive and try to put up a good fight. Homecoming, a lot of people back to watch it. You just kind of hope they can get something going here offensively.
Gauchos huddled up on the near side. Thus far, their big playmaker has been Yasir Berry. 5 touchdown receptions on the season, and I believe that's the first time we've mentioned his name tonight, and that's not a good sign for the Gauchos, but he's been a guy who can make big plays in a hurry for you.
Well, the Gauchos had some, unfortunate but fortunate for the kids. I mean, last year they had 2 quarterbacks that were freshmen. There were both plans of them coming back. One signed early at UNLV. The other one signed at Montana. Then their top running back was supposed to come back. He signed at TCU. And then the top wide receiver came down with kind of a fluke injury before the season. So really what you're left with is just a bunch of freshmen that have never seen the offensive playbook before.
Some growing pains to be sure. The return out past the 20. And a big hit.
Well, we're going to see what they're made of now. And, you know, if I know the Gauchos, they've been a resilient bunch for a number of years. You know, you and I talked about it before the game. They started out 0-2 in 2015. And everybody on campus had, frowns on their faces. They were, red flags were up all over the place. And then what did they do? They ripped off 10 straight wins and went to the state title game. I mean, you never really kind of know exactly what to expect at this level, how kids are going to respond. So It'll be interesting down 21 now, 21-0 to see how the Gauchos respond in this one.
Patterson from the shotgun. Quick throw to the near side, out past the 30. And Conate with the big hit on Smith. And Smith went airborne and then stayed airborne.
Yeah, he did the same thing a couple weeks ago against Pasadena City College. I don't know if he was a hurdler in high school or what, but he's trying to jump over guys.
Watch the hit here. And Smith giving himself up there, and you see the big hit by Conate. Nonetheless, a pickup of 6 on the play and a 2nd and 4 coming up. Patterson Setting up the play. Gauchos into Mountie territory. Down to the 35 and the 34-yard line.
Well, the Gauchos starting to get some of their playmakers into the open field. You know, that's just a nice setup play. Really, he only had one defender to beat on the outside. The wide receiver made a nice block.
Yep.
And he had a lot of open field.
Yeah, Jefferson takes the quick swing pass and really does the rest all the way down to the 34-yard line. And the Gauchos on the move. Jefferson remains in the game, pistol formation. Patterson on the play action, running for his life, and he's going to be brought down back at the 40.
I'd kind of like to see him get rid of the ball on that one. I don't know if it looked like the offensive lineman and all stayed behind the line of scrimmage, like perhaps it was a pass play, but I'd like to see him just kind of throw that one over the sidelines there.
Markel Davis able to chase down Patterson. It's a loss of 5 on the play. 2nd down and 15 coming up. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Now they send Reeves in motion, and whistles come in before the snap.
Yeah, one of the wide receivers on the far side was running before the ball was snapped. That's Yseer Berry. There you go. Now you've heard his name.
Not the name that not the way that Gaucho fans wanted to hear his name. 2nd down and 20 after the false start. Let's see, Berry. Wide receivers left and right. They empty the backfield. Quick throw. Going to Berry. Sheds a tackle at the line. And gets down to the 41-yard line. It's a gain of about 3. And a 3rd down and 17 coming up. 7:26 and counting remaining in the first half.
I'd like to see the Gauchos try to stretch the field a little bit. Mounties, right now there's no fear in them.
Yep.
Nobody's taking a shot downfield at all. They're more than happy to come up and make a tackle on a 2nd down and 20.
3rd and 17. Snap to Patterson. Good protection. Rainbows the far side looking for Berry.
We got a flag down in the secondary.
And that was Reeves, actually, the intended target on the far side. But a flag down in the Mountie secondary. Let's see what the call is.
Either way, one would think it would be a 1st down, and it's a big break the Gauchos could catch here.
And it is. Holding on Conate.
Yeah, anytime there's a flag down in the secondary and it's against the defense, it's automatically a 1st down, whether it's a 5-yarder or a 10-yarder, and that's a big break for the Gauchos right there. They needed that.
So a new life for the Gauchos as they get the 1st down via the penalty. And Patterson turned left and nobody home. And he is hit by Davis back behind the line.
Yeah, he and Curtis Jackson were on the wrong page. One thought Jackson was going to be on the right, and the other one thought Jackson was going to be on the left. And
yeah, Davis coming in, Robinson coming on the blitz from his safety spot. And they were quickly on top of Patterson, who had no chance. 2nd sack on the drive for the Mounties, and it sets the Gauchos back to a 2nd and 16. Blitz coming, good protection. Patterson looking deep, but again, only Jarrell Sykes is down there. Berry had broken off the route, it looked like.
Yeah, that was, again, it looked as if Patterson was throwing it towards a spot, and
well, that's a shame.
Berry wasn't there.
Yeah, if you're a Gaucho fan, because that was a blitz coming from the Mounties and very good protection. Patterson actually had time to make that throw. But nothing doing. And a 3rd down and 16, 2nd consecutive 3rd and long, while the Gauchos able to wriggle out thanks to a penalty last time. We'll see what they can do here, facing a 3rd and 16 from the 37 of Mount Sac.
I do like the fact that they're trying to take some shots downfield, though. I mean, I think they need, at some point you got to try to stretch the field.
They empty the backfield again, looking for the double move, but instead he goes to Jefferson in the flat, and the pass incomplete. And that will stall the drive at the 37.
Down 21-0. It's 4th and 15. I mean, is it, or 4th and 16, whatever it is. Is this a situation where you have to go for it?
Well, I think if you'd had any success offensively, you might have a little more confidence in that call. But the biggest play so far was a swing pass that Jefferson turned into.
Yeah,
a big gain, and instead Coach McElroy going to elect to try and play field position here as Avila comes out to punt this one away. So Avila at midfield has the snap. High kick, angled toward the far side, and it takes a Gaucho bounce inside the 5. Were they able to get it wrapped up? And it looks like that.
I don't think they were.
Well, are they spotting that inside the 1, or is that
I think that's inside the goal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But
I didn't see a signal down there. It took a clean to get it.
I don't think they got there. I think they're going to put that one out at the 20.
Man,
it seemed like they had 3 guys around the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a chance there, but that was just one of those, the football bounces in funny ways, and unfortunately it's been bouncing that way for the Gauchos here in this first half, and unable to get that one corralled, and instead with 6:07 to go in the first half, Mount San Antonio College will start from their own 20 after the touchback.
See if Mount Sac goes right back to that ground game now. They got 6 minutes left, and they could essentially take the...
Nava looking left, completes the pass. Chad Henney on the reception. Hit immediately after a gain of about 5. I want to correct that very quickly. That was Sean Bowden in the game with the reception. So Bowden with the 5-yard catch brings up 2nd down and 5 from the 25. Hakeem Massey in the backfield with Nava. Play action, quick throw again as they continue to work that far side, 1st down yardage.
Well, they just continue to work the outside on the single coverage, and the safety comes up, but it's just really just an easy pitch and catch right now for Nava and his wide receivers.
Yeah, 3rd catch of the first half for Reginald Anderson is good enough for a 1st down out to the 32. Quick snap to Nava. Massey breaks a tackle at the line, makes a little move. Big gain for Massey. He's into Gaucho territory down to the 40-yard line. That is a run of 28 yards for Hakeem Massey, and sweet vindication for Hakeem Massey, who had the fumble on the drive previously here in this first half on his first carry, but he turns it around there. Rumbles for 28 yards.
Yeah, the Gaucho defense starting to look a little worn down, if you know what I'm saying. We'll have to see the stats when we get the stat sheet at halftime, but
yeah, it was
I would assume the time of possession is pretty lopsided at this point.
It was a bruising previous drive that resulted in a touchdown. Schofield with the catch and a gain of about 4 to the 36-yard line of Saddleback, and the Gauchos trying to shuttle in fresh bodies, but it's going to take a deep bench. Right now, the way the Mounties are methodically moving the football, they have it down to the Saddleback 36. Zion Eccles now in the backfield with Nava. Saw Eccles with a big play earlier. Touchdown catch for the opening touchdown. And a timeout taken.
I think the Gauchos just want to get a breather.
Yeah, the Gauchos' 2nd charge timeout of the first half. 4:22 to go in the opening half, and Mount San Antonio College leading at 21-0. Second down and 6 for Mount San Antonio College. Having it all their own way here in the first half, leading at 21-0. The Gauchos, after 2 impressive performances the last couple of weeks, step up once again against one of the top teams, and so far they haven't had a whole lot of answers. Eccles on the sweep to the far side. He's got the 1st down inside the 30 before he's run out of bounds at the 29. 7-yard run for Zion Eccles. Mounties continue to move the football. They have it at the 29, down to 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, they're getting big chunks now. I mean, it's coming in bunches, 7, 10, 12. Seems like every play they're just running it, and the Gauchos just don't have the bodies out there to stop them right now.
Back to Eccles, running left, looking for the corner, and he's got it down the far sideline, down toward the 15. They're going to say he stepped out at the 18-yard line. That is still good enough for a first down. Another chunk gain of 11 yards.
Yeah, big block on the left side there by 72, Angel Matutu. I mean, he made a great block there that just
take
took
a look
out
at the
one
replay.
of the linebackers, if I recall.
Yeah, not a lot of room, but Eccles so fleet of foot. And a little bit of he gets a block there and then picks up the good block. Meanwhile, a penalty on Saddleback is going to move it half the distance.
Looks like a little frustration, I think,
grabbing the
there.
face mask, the call. So that'll be a first down, first and goal now from the 9 for the Mounties. And they have a chance to really stretch this out here. They already lead at 21-0, and they are at the doorstep again. They'll overload the near side. Eccles again running left, trying for the corner, and he is tackled up around the neck after a gain of 3. But
Mounties just trying to use as much time as they possibly can here, leave nothing on the clock. Right now,
started to say
almost at 3 minutes running down. And
yeah, the Mounties in no particular hurry. Bouchereau and Jacob Henney on the near side, along with Bowden. They're trying to set up the left side again as Rashad White has checked into the game in the backfield. Looks like they're trying to bring everybody to the near side and then trying to get the corner on the left side. They've done that 3 straight plays with Eccles. Nava now rolling right, throws in the flat, touchdown Mount San Antonio.
That looked pretty simple right there.
Henney with the reception. We'll see if we can get the replay for you. And
might have another injury on a touchdown play for Mount San Antonio. One of the big fellas up front getting up slow, but he's okay.
And Nava on the design roll finds Henney, and boy, it doesn't get a whole lot easier than that, Brad.
No, it was like a hot knife through butter going down the field right there. The Gauchos just look worn out, and
well, it's 27-0 as we await the extra point.
Halftime can't come quick enough.
Yeah, from Gabriel Dunkel. 2:36 to go in the first half, and you know, you look at the scores and you see the first week that Saddleback hosts College of the Canyons, and Canyons really wins a one-sided contest there, 19-6, and you think, boy, you don't really see that too often. And now here again, the Gauchos at home, where through the years they've obviously been so successful and so tough, and a step-up game here, and it's been all Mount San Antonio College, a really one-sided affair.
Yeah, like I said earlier, you know, they had 2 quarterbacks and a running back and a wide receiver that all were very, very big parts of the offense last year that they thought were coming back. And obviously you're not going to try to convince a kid that's got a scholarship opportunity to stay when he can go play at UNLV or TCU or Montana or something like that. But
sure,
very infrequently here at Saddleback have they stepped into a season without a quarterback that had any snaps in the system. And this year they just stepped onto the field during fall camp. They had 0 snaps returning.
Yep.
And it's a complex offense that Mark McElroy tries to run. And when you got a bunch of new kids out there and they're just trying to figure it out, it looks like they're just trying to figure it out.
Yep.
You would hope that at some point, 5-6 weeks into the season,
well, when you
something clicks.
When you can dominate at the line, you can get some things done, and that's over the last couple of weeks when they've had those kinds of advantages. You saw the Gauchos put up the impressive numbers, put up the scores that you had come to expect from them. But this is, a horse of a different color here when you talk about taking on teams like Canyons and Ventura and now Mount San Antonio College. And so far in this first half of this 2018 campaign, when those teams have come calling, The Gauchos have had trouble coming up with some answers, but they got a half of football here, and I think if you're Coach Mark McElroy, you're always coaching, trying to bring this team along.
Yeah, the biggest mystery to me still, maybe the entire season in the state, is how did Mount Sac lose to Chaffey 13-0? I've been trying to figure that out for 2 weeks. When I saw it on the scoreboard of the 3C2A site, I thought it was a misprint.
Yeah.
I called the athletic director. I said, that cannot be true. But it was true.
Yeah.
And everything I've seen here tonight, this looks like a typical Mountie team. They're very good.
Yeah, and you look at that, and the interesting thing about the Chaffey matchup is it wasn't one of those, when you look at the box score, it wasn't one of those odd type of, well, they had 7 turnovers, so they kept on getting to the doorstep and shooting themselves in the foot. No, they were pretty well dominated in the game and didn't do a whole lot in the matchup at all. They seemed to not be able to find any answers against Chaffey. But I think, as we alluded to at the top of the broadcast as well, it's shaping up to be that kind of a season in the SCFA too. Things are really spread out. Terrific game earlier today, Fullerton and Ventura, 2 teams that figured to be in the mix. That went right down to the wire before Fullerton pulled out the victory with a late touchdown at home.
You got to give the Hornets some credits. They just keep winning football games.
Yeah, they were up against it at Southwestern, a very tough assignment. But at Southwestern, then at home against Ventura, that's a couple of great wins back to back for the Hornets, who continue to impress. But the rest of the field is gaining on them. Johnson with another carry, and the Gauchos keeping it on the ground with under 2 minutes to go here. Managed to pick up the first down out to the 37-yard line.
Well, we'll see if there's some new uniforms on the field in the second half for the Gauchos, too. And
they do have 1 timeout. They have it at the 37-yard line. Patterson throws off the back foot and completes.
That's a nice
the 40 to the 42.
Nice play by Yasir Berry there. I mean, he was facing 2 guys and just did a little move and escaped. One of them got up and ended up gaining about 4 or 5 yards. That one at one point looked like maybe he's going to be trapped behind the line of scrimmage.
3 wide receivers bunched to the near side. Patterson looking left. The coverage is good. Now he's going to tuck it. Still on the run. Good fake. And he's out past the 45, about a yard shy of the first down marker. Excellent coverage for the Mounties, and Patterson with nowhere to go with the football.
Yeah, nowhere to go is the exact right thing, because you could see his head was looking far left, and then he looked down left center of the field, and he was going through all his progressions. There was just nobody open, and did a nice piece of work there, picking up 5 yards and gets him in a 3rd and short situation. He's still got 30 seconds. Maybe make a couple plays, get a field goal here before halftime.
Connor Heisius eventually able to wrap up Patterson, and the Gauchos forced to take their final timeout with 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's going to make it tough, because Mount Sac's just sitting back there in a zone, and they're just waiting for you to put one up for grabs.
And Freem has had a struggle in the kicking game. He's just 2 of 8 on field goals so far on the season. So the Gauchos, you would have to figure, need a good 30, 35 yards here to really be able to
Well, he does have a strong leg.
Okay. Yep.
Whether it goes through the uprights or not. But
well,
he does have a leg that he can kick at 45, maybe upwards of 48 yards. So we'll see.
That's always the tricky part. Third down and short. Patterson running left on the keeper, has the first down, and out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
Good play call by the Gauchos right there. I mean, they must have seen something in the Mount Sac defense on film, because that was relatively simple.
10-yard run. Picks up the first down, stops the clock. Receivers left and right from the Mountie 42. Patterson, pocket collapsing, on the run. Tries to dump it short, and the pass incomplete.
That's a good play again, really. Just get rid of it. You got 19 seconds left. If you're going to get into field goal range, you got to figure you probably need another 12, 13 yards, something like that, to give yourself any opportunity at a realistic field goal.
Bamba Smith was the intended receiver. 2nd down and 10.
You're going to throw it over the middle here now. You got to get guys up in the line of scrimmage ready to spike it.
Pressure coming from the edge, and the pass incomplete. Looking for Algene Smith. Algene Fisher.
Well, this is interesting here now. Do you try to work the sidelines and get it in field goal position, or maybe take one shot down at the end zone.
Yeah, take a shot down the field. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, really got time for 2 shots, really, when you think about it.
It's true.
The problem is the Mount SAC defensive line now really starting to get a little active.
Yeah, Patterson facing pretty steady pressure. The Gauchos had allowed 10 sacks through the first 4 games. Couple more tonight here in this first half. Patterson weaving his way through traffic, trying to get out of bounds at the 35.
I think he got there.
They stopped the clock. Well, the clock's still running, down to 5 seconds. Down to 3 seconds.
Now the coaches are all pointing at the clock. They're saying, "Why is it running?" It should be dead about 9 seconds, I would think.
Yeah. Well, I looked over and it already said 7, and that was a good second or 2 after he had gone out of bounds.
Reset the clock to read 8 seconds.
8 seconds. Okay.
It was 10.
They're going to reset it to 8 seconds. The Gaucho fans want 10. The football resting on the Mountie 35-yard line.
It'll be about a 53-yarder from here. 52-53, and I think that might be asking a little much.
Yeah, Freem's long is 40. So Fisher in the backfield with Patterson. 8 seconds remaining in the first half. 3-man rush. Patterson guns it over the middle, completes it to Berry, down to the 22. 3 seconds. Can they get up and manage to spike this one before they can wind the clock? Well, I thought Saddleback had used all 3 of their timeouts, but they did still have 1 left. So
yeah.
I guess none of that matters. 3 seconds
scoreboard
remaining.
Malfunction.
Yeah.
We'll blame it on the scoreboard operator. How's that?
I thought there was a timeout earlier in this drive, but or in the previous drive. But either way, Saddleback able to use a timeout with 3 seconds remaining. So now they have it at the 22. This would be a 40-yard attempt. Well, I think you got to try and kick the field goal here.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, you have to try to get something positive out of this half. I mean, it's obviously not been it's been a half that you're going to throw away the film regardless. So I think they're just going to try to get 3 points here and give themselves a little something to be happy about at half.
Unless at some point later in the season, the Gaucho players, the heads get a little too big, and they need to bring them a little humility in that film room.
Well, they're showing the I forget what you call this. Not the.
Is it student body left? And then,
no.
Here they come.
1 second.
Mount San Antonio College.
Now it's Mount San Antonio College that will take a timeout. Well, I'm confused.
Yeah, I've seen the Gauchos run that play a couple of times on the extra point.
Yeah.
And they'll get in there and.
Well, there was a fascinating play earlier in our coverage of Ventura, or might have been the L.A. Pierce game, but they were running a fake, and they had the play where the player was running off the field as if he was the 12th man.
Yeah.
And running toward the sidelines, and then he was supposed to turn upfield right as they snapped the football, not realizing that he's the 11th man, not the 12th man.
Right.
So running that fake, and it was going to work, but there was a false start penalty on Pearson. So it's so hard to execute these plays, but you wonder for Saddleback some kind of a fake here, trailing by 28 points, and why not? Dial up something truly unconventional. Now we're ready. Freem from the right hash. 40-yard attempt. Kick is up. It's long enough. No good. Wide right. So Freem misses from 40. And that brings the first half to a close. Halftime from Saddleback, 28-0. Mount San Antonio College leading the Gauchos here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Getting ready for the start of the third quarter from Mission Viejo, and Saddleback trailing it 28-0. Jeff Doyle, Brad Hoyseth back with you here from Mission Viejo, I should say. And Brad, first half stats, nothing too surprising in there. It tells the story of 30 minutes of domination from Mount San Antonio College.
Yeah, the Mounties have 333 yards of total offense. The Gauchos just 128, and Robbie Patterson hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. He's just 6 of 16 for 66 yards passing, and that's just not typical Gaucho football that we've seen in the past, where the Gauchos are always one of the top 2-3 teams in the state in passing yardage. And I don't know if it's a matter of just a bunch of young kids out there that don't really know the offense, or maybe they don't have the athletes, or what it is, but they got to play 30 more minutes here, so we'll see who shows up here in the second half.
I think if there's one single stat that really tells the story of this first half, look no further than rushing yards, 124-62. These are two teams that have struggled to run the football through the first month of the season, but the Mounties have really picked it up here in this first half, having perhaps their best showing on the ground over the first 30 minutes. Meanwhile, for the Gauchos, it's unfortunately more of the same from what they've seen.
Yeah, and if you're the Gauchos, the thing that's got to be really disconcerting when you look at the stats is the Mounties have had the ball for 18 minutes, so the defense is going to come out winded to start the second half.
Yep.
So
yeah, and
the offense has got to give them some breaks here.
They were looking worn down in that second quarter. The Gauchos will get it first. Patterson flanked by Fisher in the backfield, out to start this drive from the 32-yard line. First play of the third quarter. And they keep it on the ground. Fisher threw a good hole, but he coughs it up. Keanu, who had the interception earlier, in the right place at the right time, and falls on that fumble, and a turnover immediately gives it to the Mounties. See if we can get the replay for you. And
there's a flag that didn't come in from behind the line of scrimmage, so let's see if perhaps the Gauchos catch a break here. Maybe they can get a call. It seemed like it was a little late, though, like perhaps it was after the ball had already been fumbled and recovered.
Yeah, Fisher there threw a good hole on the right side, and a hand in there pops that ball free. Keanu's right there, but let's see what the flag is.
There's a big discussion over there by the guys wearing black and white stripes. So
it's hard to imagine. I don't know. I didn't see entirely everything that was happening, but the play was resolved so quickly once the ball was on the ground. It really went right to Keanu, who fell on it. So maybe this happened before the turnover.
Well, we haven't really heard any.
Yeah, they're placing it on the 40 of Saddleback. And here comes the Mountie offense, led by Steven Nava, who had a terrific first half, 13 of 17, 209 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he'll start here with a short field at the Saddleback 40, 15 seconds into the third quarter. Both teams now have turned the ball over twice. Nava, they'll keep it on the ground. White running left, able to shed a tackle in the backfield and pick his way forward for a pickup of about 4.
Well, we talked about it at halftime, you and I, and when you're kind of having your way up front, it's going to be difficult for the Gauchos unless they can, pick up some turnovers or something like that, because I don't see Mount Sac really doing anything but just running the ball forward at this point.
And having success doing it. 5-yard run, play action, quick screen. Eccles tries to cut it back, but he is wrapped up by Noble.
Really nice play out there on the edge by the Gauchos. Manny Pelzer was also there, and it looked as if when the pass was thrown, it'd be an easy first down, but the Gauchos stepped up, made a nice play there. Let's see if they can get a stop on 3rd and 1.
I was checking the chat earlier, and I believe there was a shout out for Tyler Noble from his mom watching. So Tyler's got some family watching this one. 3rd and 1. I formation. They give to the deep back. First down yardage, it appears. Thompson on the carry. He's driven back, but not before he gets a couple of yards and moves the chains.
I saw Mailangi in there try to get a hand in there and strip the ball loose, but came up empty that time. But I think you're going to see a lot of that here in the second half.
Well, that's what needs to happen at this point, as Mailangi will head to the sideline. On comes Matthew Brunel. And certainly the Mounties, who were working pretty deliberately in that first half, not going to be in any great hurry here with a sizable lead early in the third.
Yeah, they're in no hurry whatsoever.
3 wide receivers to the left. Thompson in the backfield to give to Thompson. Little stutter step. And now able to work forward for a gain of about 3 to the 27. Again, a shot at a Mount SAC ball carrier in the backfield, but a good little move. Able to shed a tackle and at least get positive yardage out of it. And we've seen the Gauchos shoot the gaps a little bit, have some opportunities for some losses, but give the Mountie back some credit here. They're able to make some moves and get positive yardage.
Yeah, it's like I said in the second quarter. They got some guys that look like they're pretty athletic. I'm a little surprised that their running numbers for the season aren't a little bit better.
Yeah, Hakeem Massey.
That might change after tonight, by the way.
Yeah, they're working on it. And they're doing it against a defense that has been very successful stopping the run. Nava airs it out, far side, in the corner, touchdown.
Yeah, it's just single coverage out there. The Gauchos had 2 guys. It was
looked like it went back to Eccles.
Yeah, the Gauchos had 2 guys out there, but the
Get
wide
the replay
receiver
ready.
just had a step on him. And again, it's just a beautiful pass by Nava. He's made 3 or 4 strikes downfield where he has been right on the money every time. He played a really solid game, has Nava.
4th touchdown pass of the night for Nava. Eccles with the reception. Looked like he ran a corner route there, and you can't drop it in much more perfectly than Nava did. Turnover leads to a touchdown for Mount San Antonio College, and they widen the lead to 35-0. You're watching Saddleback football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Roberts and Smith back deep for the Gauchos as Nava finds Eccles for another long touchdown. And Mount San Antonio College, well, if you were hoping for some kind of miracle here for Saddleback, that's exactly how you didn't want the third quarter to start. They cough it up.
Yeah, no,
Mounties take quick advantage.
First play from scrimmage, you fumble, and you're coming out of the locker room, you're trying to grab some momentum, and that's not the way to do it.
This one kicked out of bounds as Smith lets it go. And the Gauchos will start from the 35-yard line.
Legal procedure on the kicking team. Ball went out of bounds.
Well, let's check and see now if we start seeing some new uniforms on the field for the Gauchos. I think
I
at
wondered if we might
35-0.
see, somebody might give Patterson the rest of the night off, starting at the quarterback spot, but Patterson and the Gaucho offense back to work at the 35, and more miscommunication in the backfield.
Oh,
That looked like Patterson and Jefferson. Sorry about that, Brad.
Yeah, one of the Mounties was also in there, big number 91, and he just pushed a couple guys over. That's a Samu Tukuafu, and he just pushed back one of the Gauchos. I think it was the center. He pushed him right into Patterson.
Patterson throws on the left side and completes to Derrico, out past the 40 and taken out of bounds at the 46-yard line. That is good enough for a first down.
I like what I've seen out of Derrico so far. He's got really good feet, caught the ball in the open field, and he knew what to do with it. He sprinted for the sidelines, got out of bounds, and big, rangy kid, though.
Patterson with a short drop, tries the right side and completes to Barry. Barry sheds a tackle, and now he's wrapped up at the 43-yard line. DeAndre Washington with the stop, but another first down for Saddleback. Well, at a certain point here, you expect Patterson's going to start to have some success because you think the Mounties might start dropping off a little bit, let them dink and dunk their way down the field. And maybe Patterson can gain a measure of confidence from that. Has some time here, looking left, finds Derrico. Leaping catch inside the 20, brought down near the 15-yard line. John Tavis Walker with the stop. But 3 straight completions for Patterson. But this one's coming back, a flag on the play, holding against Saddleback. And just when this crowd maybe gets something to get excited about, and they've really had nothing through 2+ quarters of football, that one's coming back.
Yeah, that one hurts right there. I mean, that would have been clearly the best field position for the Gauchos all day, inside the 15-yard line, and looks like a silly holding penalty right there.
1st and 20. Well, Patterson did have all day, so maybe there's a clue in there that able to get a little extra time, but in any event, the completion is nullified, and instead it's 1st and 20 from the 47 of Saddleback. Patterson on the keeper into Mountie territory, brought down at the 47-yard line. Rollins on the hit.
Gauch is just kind of chipping away at it there. You're not going to get it all back at once. Obviously, if the Gauchos get close to a 1st down, it's going to be 4-down territory regardless.
Yeah, at this point. Second down and 14 after a 6-yard run by Patterson. Receivers left and right. Smith in motion. Straight drop. Patterson looking right, steps up into the pocket, going deep, and overthrows Reeves on the far side.
Yeah, he was open too. Reeves had a step on the far side. Patterson just overthrew him, and if that's on the money, that's probably 6 points.
3rd down.
Another good pocket for Patterson. He steps up and throws that one, but tight window to get it to Reeves, and the pass incomplete. So 3rd and long from the 47 of Mount Sac. They'll empty the backfield. Straight drop. Screen completed on the far side. Reeves looking for a lane, but he is hit and dropped at the 40. That's a gain of about 7, and it brings up a 4th and about 7.
Yeah, that's the call I would have liked to have seen on the last play, really.
No.
I mean, I thought the good play with the quarterback keeper picking up 7 was a good way to start when you're 1st and 20, and then you just got to chip away at it. You can't try to get it all back at once, and they took a shot downfield, and it just didn't work out. Now you're faced with 4th and 6.
The football resting on the Mount Sac 34-yard line. Patterson with plenty of time on the play clock. Barry is solo to the right. Now they send Reeves in motion.
I think the Gauchos are going to talk about this one.
Yeah, Saddleback wants a timeout. 9:03 to go in the 3rd. 35-0 Mount Sac. Fourth down and 6 from the Mountie 34. The Gauchos spread it out. Patterson in the pistol. Now they've got Reeves and Barry to the short side on the right. Patterson on the keeper, sheds a tackle, but he is hit and stopped at the 29. He's about a yard shy of the 1st down. That's just a tremendous tackle by Heisius. Connor Isius.
It kind of looked like maybe Patterson was going to pick it up, but
yeah, just watch.
The defender came in quickly and shut it down and came up
look
about a half-yard shy.
At the replay here, and yeah, head of steam for Patterson, and Connor Isius able to stop him in his tracks. The run was for 4 yards. They needed 6. And the Gauchos come up empty on 4th down. They came into that 1 of 7 on 4th down, now making 1 of 8. So they've had their struggles converting on 4th down. New quarterback, meanwhile, for the Mounties. No, Stephen Nava's still out there. Sorry. So Nava back at the controls and hands off. That's McMaster, Brandon McMaster on the carry.
Yeah, I was seeing a conversation. I think I confused you a little bit there when you said new quarterback. I was seeing a conversation on the Gauchos sidelines. Mark McElroy kind of, I think, tapped Patterson on the shoulder, and they're standing there with him and Kevin Brown to back up. I wouldn't be surprised if the Gauchos perhaps
if that
went to a change here on the next possession.
The final drive for Patterson. And Patterson probably over there on the sidelines thinking, I think I finally got it going a little bit, and my night's over. That was probably one of his better drives. He had the long completion to Derrico called back on a holding call.
Yeah, the holding call, really, again, it's just a silly penalty that really wrecked yet another drive.
Yeah. Only 7 penalties per game in the last 2 games for the Gauchos, 2 big wins. Good hole up the middle as McMaster spins his way forward, gains about 8 yards, good enough to move the chains. Good hard running from Brandon McMaster. And that picks up a first down midway through the third, 7:30 and counting to go in the quarter. And the Mounties comfortably in front.
Yeah, and they're in no hurry. They're just letting the clock run down and taking their time.
And what a luxury. They're having success moving the ball on the ground, seemingly even when the Gauchos know.
Yeah,
Though, you saw on the drive for the touchdown, they ran the ball effectively, but then they were able to play action, find Eccles in space, and you have to be aware of that. If you're the Gauchos on defense, it's a nightmare matchup in a lot of ways.
And when you can run that ball that effectively, it forces the safeties to come up in the box and try to play the run, and then what you're left with is single coverage on the outside. And as we've seen, that hasn't worked out real well for the Gauchos. So Nava's been on the mark. I mean, he was 13 of 17 in the first half, and
from the opening gun, it has been a struggle on the interior and on the periphery defensively for the Gauchos. The Mounties have had every answer so far. 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard run by McMaster.
Well, the good thing is, if you're a Gaucho fan, it's just one game, and league play, you get a week off now for a bye, and then league play starts, and it's kind of like a fresh start in a new season. You hold your own destiny. They really only, in their conference, it's really Riverside and then maybe Southwestern or Saddleback. I mean, everybody else is really kind of in the mix. And
Well, Riverside obviously loaded once again. Southwestern's had a very good season. That's who they get in 2 weeks. They travel to Southwestern, and that's a tough assignment.
It is. No question about it. But
Coach McElroy will have 2 weeks to get them ready and try and regroup from this one.
Yeah, the luxury might be that they don't have to get Riverside until the last game of the year, and you never know what can happen between now and then. A couple guys could get injured for Riverside, and all of a sudden it's a much more even ball game than it would have been if you're playing the next week.
Yeah, and teams sometimes are a different team at the end of the year than they are at the beginning of the year. And that's what you have to hope for if you're a Saddleback fan, at least off of tonight's performance. Delayed handoff, Massey with all kinds of room. He's inside the 35, brought down near the 30.
Yeah, he took a shot right there. Gage Roberson came up from the safety position, and he was looking to do some damage, and Massey just barely slipped away from him. But another big play, another 9 yards.
2nd down and 1 at the 31 of Saddleback. Down to 5 minutes to go. They'll go back to McMaster in the backfield. .14 on the play clock. The Mounties, meanwhile, off next week as the teams have their bye week, and then they're at Palomar on October 13th. I formation, McMaster running right, And he is forced toward the sideline and finally wrapped up. He's going to be near the first down. It looks like he's got it. A pickup of a couple before Segun Alubi is finally able to force him out of bounds, but not before the Mounties pick up the first down.
Gaucho's still flying to the ball, playing hard. But when a team's in 2nd and 1, that's a pretty tough spot to put your defense in.
Well, it's got to be a frustrating night on that Gaucho sideline. You know, this is a team that comes in outscoring their opponents 91-24 over the last 2 weeks, maybe thinking, okay, after the 0-2 start, we're getting it rolling a little bit. This is going to be a good litmus test to see where we are. And unfortunately, it's been a struggle. Rainbowed on the near side. Nava with another terrific pass for the touchdown.
Boy, he has been right on the mark downfield all night long. And
Damian Alloway with the reception. And we will take a look at the replay.
it's just right on the mark. I mean, that's a beautiful pass there by Nava. And put it right where the wide receiver can catch it. And
you just can't drop it in there a lot better than that. Very good protection up front once again.
And again, it was single coverage, and the wide receiver just got behind the defender.
Yeah, Alloway just running, looked like a straight fly right down the near side. Able to get behind and haul in a perfect pass. The extra point is good. It's the Steven Nava show here in Mission Viejo. 5 touchdown passes, and with 3:46 to go in the third quarter, Mount San Antonio College now leads it 42-0. Another touchdown pass from Steven Nava, and a 42-0 lead now for Mount San Antonio College. Here in the third quarter, Smith, Roberts await the kick. The approach, high end-over-end kick. Taken by Roberts at the 8. He slips at the 18, and he's going to be down there.
Well, it looks like Patterson's going out for at least one more set of downs. The Gauchos do have a couple quarterbacks throwing on the sideline.
As you do talk about, though, Brad, this is, Patterson comes in, doesn't have the luxury of any real experience last year. So if you're Coach McElroy on that sideline, you might be thinking, hey, the guy I need to get some experience right now is my starter.
That's one philosophy. The other one would be that we got 0 points on the board, and it's the middle of the third quarter. Maybe it's time to give somebody else a chance.
Yeah, well, there certainly is that as well. They have had very little to get excited about, have these Saddleback fans here in Mission Viejo. Pistol formation. Fisher running right, able to slip a tackle in the backfield now, has some running room. Sykes finally runs him out of bounds near the first down marker.
Nice little play there by Algene Fisher. Obviously trying to make up for the fumble there on the first handoff of the second half, and got some space outside and exploited it. Gauchos got 8 yards of their own on the ground there.
It was a little reminiscent of the Mounties on offense there, where Fisher was able to sneak away from a tackle in the backfield and then turn it into positive yardage. Delayed draw, and it's Patterson giving up his body there, a run of about 4 yards, and good enough for a first down for Saddleback.
It's always been kind of a hallmark play of the Gaucho offense there. They get close, and they've always had quarterbacks that could run the ball pretty well, and it's an easy way to pick up a first down.
Patterson with good protection again, going deep on the far side, incomplete.
That's really good coverage there on the far side. Looking at the corner out there, looks like number 7 to me.
I think it's Jarrell Sykes working over there against Yasir Berry, and both Sykes and Conate on the outside. have been very good tonight.
Yeah, that was really good
too.
coverage right there. There's just not much there. And Barry's not a particularly big guy. I don't see him going up over the top and catching that thing. And just good coverage.
Relies on his speed. Barry, as we talked about, has been the playmaker for this Saddleback team. They set up the screen and a little lane and get out for an 8-yard gain and make it 3rd and short coming up from the 39-yard line.
That's a good little play right there, and it's kind of been there all night long. And every once in a while the Gauchos try to take a shot downfield, and it doesn't work out real well. But let's hope now they can pick up a couple more first downs. Let's not mix in one of those holding calls that thwarts the drive again, you know?
Yep. The Gauchos, just when they've had something going, have managed to hurt themselves with penalties tonight. Fisher through a good hole. Fisher with running room at the 45-40, 35-30, still on his feet inside the 25. All the way down to the 24-yard line, a 37-yard run for Algene Fisher.
That's a nice play right there. Fisher had a big hole off the left side. That's the strength of the Gaucho offensive line, is that left side with Tim Anderson over there at left tackle, and Fisher had nothing but green space in front of him, and it was a really nice run.
Well, that is a great job opening up a hole, and then an even better job running with the football in the secondary.
Yeah, this is the deepest the Gauchos now have been down in Mount San Antonio territory all night long, really. They would have had it there on the last drive if it weren't for the holding call, but now they got it down there. Let's see what they can do with it.
5-yard run as Jefferson in the game now in the backfield.
Patterson.
They fake it to Johnson. Patterson gonna run it in. Well-designed play.
Nobody home on defense, really. That was just an easy lane there for Patterson, and he's got some pretty good speed, and the Gauchos finally have something to celebrate here tonight.
Yeah, this is a terrific fake to Johnson, and an easy run for Patterson, and the Gauchos are on the board. A big run gets them into the red zone, and Patterson finishes it off, running it in from 14 yards out. Freem's extra point is good. With 1:20 to go in the third, the Gauchos are on the board, 42-7 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. An 82-yard drive for the Gauchos.
Gauchos lining up for an onside kick here. Mount Sac's going to be forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, 1:20 to go in the third. I find it a little bit surprising that Mount San Antonio College is surprised by this. I think with 16 minutes to go in the ballgame, and you got to figure if you're the Gauchos, little reason not to take a chance here and, practice a play that may ultimately be employed in a much closer game at some point later on in the year.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I think there's at some point in time, I think you just got to give your defense a long field to play with. I mean, if you don't come up with the recovery, you're looking at Mount Sac knocking on the door again. I mean,
on the other hand,
it's 42-7. The game is over.
With the time of possession being what it is, maybe you want to give your defense a little bit of a breather. We say, well, look, this could be a short drive one way or another. Either you guys could get a quick 3 and out, or we'll
just something to that. Yes,
we'll just give up some more points. Last thing I want to do is really cruelly punish these guys by making them stay out there for 7 or 8 minutes.
Well, my guess is you're going to see a lot of new uniforms in the game now for Mount Sac. I'd be surprised if all of their starters. I don't know how much longer Nava will be in the game, but
What a night he has had. And this one pooched to the second line where it's taken at the 35 and then out of bounds.
Yeah.
So a minimal return, but good field position for the Mounties nonetheless. They'll have it at the 39-yard line. And they'll start this drive with 1:17 to go in the third quarter. Try to give you some scores from around the league. We talked about one of the big matchups. Fullerton with the win. It said 33-28, but when I added up the score, I think it's 35-28. But either way, a late touchdown for the Hornets. The Pirates had the 8-point lead in the fourth quarter, but can't hold on as the Hornets find a way again against a very tough schedule that they've had this season. They moved to 5-0.
And I'll bring up the other side of the coin to that. Again, Ventura finds a way to lose that game. I mean, that's kind of been their bugaboo for a number of years now.
Yeah, well, especially against, we have a lot of opportunity to see them on SoCalCollegeSports.com. It's our great pleasure to work with them week after week. And against the Fullertons, the Riversides, these are the programs that they can't seem to quite get over the top against. They're right there at the doorstep.
No question.
Having success against most of the other programs.
Yeah,
but those two,
speaking,
seem to be
physically
the one
speaking. Ventura's got as much talent as anybody. They just can't seem to get that big win when they need it.
Yeah. Especially in the playoffs, they keep on running into Riverside, and they get matched up with them, and then Riverside keeps on running into Fullerton. That's their nemesis that they can't seem to get past. Elam running on the left side, gained maybe a yard.
Yeah, this team out there wearing the white and maroon, that's how it's kind of been the nemesis of the Gauchos. I mean, there was a stretch there where Saddleback, I believe, lost to them 3 years in a row on the final drive of the game. And it's always been a great series. It's unfortunate this game here isn't all that close, but it won't be long. The Gauchos will be back to playing good football again, and that series will.
Getting ready to move into their new state-of-the-art stadium, I believe. Is that next year that they?
They're hopeful that it's going to be next year. It looks as if the time frame might be moved back a little bit. It might not open until the spring of 2020, but nonetheless, that's going to be a great facility, and it's going to be state-of-the-art. Going to hold about 9,000 people, something like that. And it's going to be a really nice facility, and it was a long time coming for the Gauchos because they were playing in a facility that didn't have restrooms. It barely had a press box. There was no hard line of the internet up there. I mean, it was really a difficult situation. When you got to tell the fans to go outside to go to the bathroom, they might as well just go to the bushes, if you know what I'm saying.
And for one of the premier programs in the entire SCFA, and so certainly the program and their fans can look forward to that. We're through three quarters. We'll come back for the fourth. 42-7 Mount San Antonio College on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Start of the fourth quarter. Mounties have it 3rd down and 3 from the 46.
That's a little bit puzzling. Mount SAC's going to call a timeout right out of the gate. I mean, you just had 5 minutes to think about it.
Right. Just from the sideline, and not sure what they saw, but either way, they'll talk it over on a 3rd down and 3 from their own 46-yard line. And I think if you're the Gauchos in this situation, you got to bring them up there, trying to shoot the gaps on the run.
Yeah, 3rd down. I mean, you got an opportunity here to get a stop, and you get another drive, and you at least generate some momentum going into the bye week. I mean, you already got a bad taste in your mouth, and if you can go out there and have a good fourth quarter and maybe put a couple touchdowns on the board and narrow that gap a little bit, you never know what can happen. I mean, they're 19 and 20-year-old kids.
And the way that Southwestern has been playing football early in this season, you don't want to travel down there not feeling at all good about yourselves, and that might be the case anyway. This has been a very tough night, but any kind of momentum, boy, you really don't want to go against that defense the way they've been playing.
Yeah, Southwestern
on the road.
They gave Fullerton everything they wanted last week, and they've been kind of on the rise here for a number of years now, and it looks as if maybe they found something this year, and that could end up being the surprise story of the year, Southwestern.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, somebody is going to get that 4th spot, assuming they don't win the division, which is entirely possible. Elam sweeping to the far side, and he's going to be tripped up well short of the first down. He got back to the line, and that's it. So a 4th down coming up for Mount SAC.
Yeah, I think the problem Southwestern's going to have is they don't really have that benchmark win over a big team. And when you're looking for that wild card spot, and we're assuming that they don't win the Southern League. I mean, if they were to come in second place to somebody like Riverside, you got to almost have a benchmark win. And right now, all the cards are kind of pointing towards Ventura or Canyons, like perhaps a team that doesn't win that division may end up getting the number 4 seed.
Absolutely. Especially if it ultimately boils down, which is entirely possible, as there's some movement on the line. Here come the flags.
I think the Gauchos just jumped off sides.
Well, I think what's interesting, too, is it becomes so difficult, as we'll wait and see what the call is, but if the Gauchos move, that's going to be good enough for a first down. It was 4th and 3.
I think it's going to be first down for Mount SAC. I think the Gaucho on this end of the line jumped on a hard count, and Saddleback's going to get whistled for offsides.
Offside.
One of the very infrequent times that they've gotten a stop on defense.
Yeah. Well, you think back to a play in the first half, and they had a stop and then a roughing the punter call.
Yes.
Gave them extended a drive, and ultimately the Mounties did put points on the board. I can't recall now if it was that or just in a drive or two afterwards, but either way.
Seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it?
It really does. So the Mounties get the first down via the penalty, and they have it at the Saddleback 49, 1st and 10. High snap, Nava's got it.
Mount SAC has not punted all night long, by the way.
McMaster.
They did have one punt, like you said, however.
Yep. Yeah,
it didn't go in the books because the Gauchos roughed the kicker.
McMaster running right, and a loss of a yard on the play. Brings it back to 2nd and 11.
Looks like quite a few smaller guys up front right now for Mount SAC, as if perhaps some of those big bodies are going to get the rest of the night off.
Mounties on their way to moving to 4-1 on the season.
Still got Nava in the game, though. I don't quite understand that decision.
Well, judging by the way the offensive line has performed in the passing game, he doesn't seem to be in a lot of danger back there. Throws this one off his back foot and completes for a gain of about 4.
That's the big tight end, Austin Griffin, and he came into the season, had a bunch of attention to him from a bunch of Division I schools. We haven't seen much of him here tonight.
Yeah, 4-yard reception there makes it 3rd down and 6. Hakeem Massey back in the game. Trips right for the Mounties as they come to the line with the football resting at the Saddleback 45-yard line. Bouchereau solo to the left. Nava guns it on the right side and completes. That ball nearly picked off, but he was able to slip it into Bowden.
Yeah, that was a really nice pass right there. I mean, one of the Gauchos, Gage Roberson, had a beat on it. I think.
Yeah, Roberson.
I think he thought he had
round.
6 points.
Yep.
And Nava just slipped it in there. That's the tight window he was looking at, and he's been really on the money all night long.
Well, that's probably not the first Gaucho defender who's been a little bit surprised at the way Nava's thrown the football here tonight.
Oh, he's got a little zip on it too.
Yep.
I mean, it's getting there in a hurry.
So the first down for the Mounties at the Saddleback 34. They keep it on the ground. Nothing doing. Chase Bradley able to wrap up Elam on the play. A loss of a yard. And they might give him forward momentum. Yeah, they'll say he picked up a yard. 2nd down and 9.
See if the Gauchos can get a stop here and force a punt or force the Mounties to try a field goal. 11:25 left here. You got still a couple more opportunities on offense to get some points on the board.
Yeah, it's just about momentum at this point. Offset I formation. Massey, nowhere to go, wrapped up after a gain of maybe a yard.
Yeah, I'm looking up at that offensive line for Mount SAC, and it is body for body a good 30 to 40 pounds lighter than what we saw 10 minutes ago. There's a lot of fresh uniforms out there for the Mounties, and why not? You're up by 35 points. Get some guys some experience. Those are guys that are going to be playing next year.
Trey Campbell with the tackle on Massey. So 3rd down and a long 8 for the Mounties, who are certainly in no hurry. Taking down to 10:30 and counting remaining in the ball game. Straight drop for Nava's got time and wide open, complete. Henny with the reception, able to get down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line, a 13-yard pickup, and another 3rd down conversion for Mount San Antonio College, and they have been very good in a night full of very good numbers for the Mounties. They've also been incredibly adept picking up 3rd down conversions.
Nava has just been off the charts. I mean, again, that's not an easy throw. He's going the other way. He has to see a guy cutting across the other side of the field and make a throw against his body, and he's just right on the mark. And
yep.
Gauchos haven't physically been that far away from the wide receivers when they've caught it. Nava's just been on his game all night long.
Massey hit behind the line, but able to reverse field and pick up positive yardage. Got down inside the 15, down to the 14 before he was driven back. But a nice individual effort by Hakeem Massey.
Another nice long bruising drive if you're the Mounties, and Gauchos are left wondering what could have been if they had not jumped off sides.
Well, you think back to the losses this year for Saddleback, and Canyons has a very good passing game led by their quarterback, Andrew Brito. But they only put 19 points on the board. Ventura had good success, but they ran the ball very well. Ultimately, it was a rushing touchdown that helped them pull away in the 4th quarter. So this maybe is far and away the most impressive passing performance by a team and a quarterback against them this season. They haven't really been lit up like this by anybody. And
no, Mount SAC
job.
is well on their way to over 500 yards of offense in this game. And if I was to guess, the time of possession is going to be up around 40 minutes when this thing is over for Mount SAC, because the Gauchos once Mount SAC's taken the field, the Gauchos just haven't been able to stop them. No punts on the night all night long by the Mounties, and that's never a good sign for your defense.
It's Rashad White. Yeah, if you never see the punter. Rashad White in the backfield with Nava on 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. White gets the call, bounces it to the outside and trips over his own feet. Boy, he might have had a chance. But he's down at about the 5. That was a good little bounce from White at the line. Again, not a lot there, and he was able to bounce it to his left and appeared to have a little bit of running room.
It'll be interesting to see where this Mount SAC team really goes from here. I mean, you get so used to them being a factor, and then I think everybody's eyes kind of opened wide when they saw them losing to Chaffee 13-0, and they thought, well, Mount SAC must be down this year. And
yeah, I think
I haven't seen anything.
The rumors of their demise may have been premature.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. This is a good football team right here.
And now whistles before the snap.
A couple of Gauchos running off the field late. Saddleback might get cut. Well, see if the Gauchos got a timeout ahead of time.
Does look like a timeout on the field. Not sure who called that. Yep, both. It is Saddleback. They have 1 timeout remaining. We'll step aside very quickly. 7:37 to go in the ball game. Mount San Antonio College leading at 42-7. Second down and goal from the 6. McMaster in the deep I. And now here come the flags again.
Is it possible the Gauchos came out with 12 guys in the huddle?
Well, both teams are running out of timeouts.
I think the Gauchos had 12 guys on the field coming out of the timeout.
Second down and goal now from the 3 after they assess the penalty. And Nava will get the play. Well, we've seen some strangeness. Timeouts coming out of breaks at the quarter, and now 12 men after a timeout. Nava gives to McMaster, straight up the middle, trying to push the pile. But he has stood up, no gain on the play. And the Gauchos continuing to play with a lot of pride down there. We saw that tonight. They have really been overmatched, but never given up in this game. And
no, it's just a decisive size advantage, really, along the offensive front. I mean, they just they got worn down about mid-second quarter, and at that point, Mount Sac just had them on their heels, and they just kept running it at them. And it's just good offense by Mount Sac. I mean, why not do what you have an advantage doing? And the Gauchos have played hard. They've flown to the football, but there's just been too many footballs to fly to. Let's put it that way.
See if they go back to McMaster. They do. Over his left guard. He's not going to get there. Gained maybe a yard, but an awful lot of maroon jerseys flying to the football. Tony Williams, the safety up there first, leading the charge. And a third and goal coming up, down to 6:30 to go in the ball game.
Well, are they going to let Nava throw the football again? Or are they just going to bang it up in there?
Well, I don't know if they could get in on the ground right now. The Gauchos, I think, pretty keyed up to try and stop this play, but they've certainly had no answer for Nava.
I don't see a lot of wide receivers on the field. My guess
he does
is this
have
is just going to be a running play.
Bowden solo to the left.
I think they're going to let the clock run out and perhaps even just kick a field goal.
Nava looking to the ref, and did he call the timeout or did he let the play clock run out?
That's not a yellow flag. I don't. Wow.
Delay of game. Or does he just want to give himself a little more field to work with when he goes to throw the football?
I
says, Coach, if you don't mind, I'd like to throw this pass from about the 9, not the 4.
Well, they're going to bring out the kicker and kick a field goal here, and maybe the kicker likes to have a little more room. I'm not sure.
I thought it was. I guess I did misplace it down. It was 2nd and goal, and then he ran for no gain.
Right.
And then he and it was 3rd and goal, and then ran for no gain. So I think I misplaced it down. So 4th down. And we'll see a field goal attempt from Dunkel. 24-yard attempt is up and good. So Dunkel puts it through. And the score now 45-7. 5:48 to go in the 4th. You're watching Saddleback football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Back in Mission Viejo, 45-7. The Mounties with a 24-yard field goal from Dunkel. And here's the kick. Taken by Smith at the 10, out to the 25, slips a tackle, and then hit out of bounds at the 30-yard line, 20-yard return. And you have the feeling that the way the Mounties have been able to run the football, even when the Gauchos know what's coming, this may be the final offensive drive for the Gauchos tonight.
Yeah, you know, I would also think that probably we've seen the last of Nava for the night for Mount Sac, either way you look at it. And so I see one of the Gaucho quarterbacks stretching his legs up out there, and that for Saddleback is number 14, Noah Melvin. And it's not going to be Melvin, though, I don't think.
Well, Melvin saw some time earlier in the season.
I think it. Well, let's see.
Run you through a couple of scores, meanwhile, from around the SCFA. Earlier today, El Camino over Moore Park, 23-13. Allen Hancock with a 28-21 win at Citrus. West LA over Glendale, 29-12. That was earlier today as well. And Fullerton, 33-28 over Ventura. And a matchup earlier today in Fullerton. Hornets moved to 5-0. Ventura with their first loss. Third quarter, Grossmont 13-7 over Palomar. Of course, we have triple header coverage tonight on SoCalCollegeSports.com. College of the Canyons in action against Golden West. Antelope Valley taking on Santa Barbara City College. Check those games out as well on our site, www.SoCalCollegeSports.com, or by searching our YouTube channel, SoCal College Sports 1. You can find all our games, and of course, all of our games all season long are archived on YouTube, so you can always watch later on. Well, Chaffee over Compton, 91-0 in the fourth quarter.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this was practically a nail-biter, I guess, compared to some of the other ones that happened.
91-0. I mean, they're. It seems to me, and I've been watching this stuff for a long time, seems to me that there's getting to be a wider gap between the haves and the have-nots. I mean,
yeah, well,
a couple weeks back, there was 9 shutouts in the state. I mean, it's very difficult to get a shutout at this level, and to have 9 shutouts in one weekend in one state, it just seems something's wrong out there offensively with some of these teams not scoring any points.
Play action, and this pass incomplete.
His new quarterback out there for the Gauchos.
Looked like Kevin Brown.
Yeah, Kevin Brown, local kid out of Capo Valley. Spent a season at Arizona State as a walk-on.
Well, now I think it was Brown for one play, and now it's Noah Melvin. Because I thought I saw 13 out there for that one pass, but now Noah Melvin is in the game. Jake Cuero in the backfield. Updating the score, Palomar, it's a final at Grossmont, 35-24 the win. And, of course, Palomar will be in action against Mount San Antonio College in 2 weeks. Play action for Melvin, completes the pass. Gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Looks like they're going to rotate the quarterbacks in every other play, and now they're
Jeremy Cooper. Oh, well, it's good to know that I'm not completely losing my mind. So it was Kevin Brown out there.
It was Kevin Brown,
so
and then it went to Melvin, and now it's back to Kevin Brown. So
I've got a pretty good look at his number. I hope I can still tell the difference between 13 and 14. It's not a mortal lock, Brad. Antelope Valley in the fourth. 14-6 over Santa Barbara. San Bernardino Valley all over Pasadena City, 55-8.
Things kind of falling apart for the Lancers right now. They came here a couple weeks back, and they were undefeated, and the Gauchos beat them up 51-21, and things have kind of deteriorated up there at PCC ever since.
Brown completes the pass on the far side, good enough for a first down, down to 4:38 and counting remaining in the ballgame. Bakersfield a 17-0 lead. They're at the half against Orange Coast.
What's going on in that Long Beach Cerritos game?
Just scrolling down. Melvin. The give to Cuero. Manages to churn his legs for a pickup of a couple. Long Beach Cerritos 31-25 Long Beach. 12:50 to go in the fourth quarter. The Falcons have reloaded nicely. They were in a tight ball game with Canyons last week, but they come in 3-1. Long Beach.
That's two teams right there that could be kind of a sleeper out there, I guess, if you're going to say. I mean, if they could get a hot and get 3-4 wins in a row, they could be somebody that we could be talking about at the end.
Long Beach was blown out at Riverside, and that is something that had not happened to them very much at all in recent years, as Brett Peabody has really come in and built that program into a real power.
Yeah, he did a nice job at L.A. Harbor when he was there. And I really thought at that time that Long Beach hired the right guy, and I think it's turned out that way for Long Beach. He's done a nice job there with the Vikings.
Well, they're rebounding nicely, but they're in a tight ball game. It's a 6-point game. LA Harbor with a 16-6 lead over Mount San Jacinto. Pass over the middle, complete. Melbon.
Nice throw right there by Melbon, and gain of about 20. That's one of the bigger plays of the day for the Gauchos.
Ryder Lynch working over the middle with the reception down to the 38 of Mount Sac. Down to 3:10 remaining.
See if the Gauchos can punch one in here before the end of this game. And
Canyons looking good again, a 19-3 lead. Last update, that's in the third quarter. But, of course, as I remind you, you can watch that on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We have that game right now. Cuero sweeping to the right. He is stood up and dropped after a gain of about 3.
that Canyons defense looks pretty solid.
They absolutely do. Riverside taking care of business at home. They're into the fourth, leading San Diego Mesa 40-14. We had a look at San Diego Mesa in our coverage of L.A. Pierce early in the season, and that's a team that's moved up from the American to the National after having a lot of success in the American and getting off to a nice start this year. Good win over Pierce. They really dominated the Brahmas, but obviously dealing with Riverside, a whole different level, and they're finding that out as Cuero off tackle on the left side down to the 33-yard line.
It's interesting how things can change in a region from, one decade to the next. For a long time down in the San Diego area, that's been Palomar and Grossmont country.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's really not anymore. It's pretty much Southwestern and Mesa, it seems like, who might be the two best programs down there now.
Yep. 3rd down and 4. Offset eye. Brown, play action. Looking on the slant, and the pass incomplete.
That's some
looking
zip.
for Cooper on looked like a square in there, but the pass too high, and it's 4th down, and no big surprise here with 1:45 to go. The Gauchos will go for it.
That ball had some heat on it right there.
And now Melbon back on for this 4th down play. Receivers left and right. The ball at the Mountie 32. Southwestern at the half. At last update, 17-0, blanking East Los Angeles College. They swing this one out to Cuero, and Cuero's going to tuck it and run. Leaps his own man. He's very close to the 1st down marker. It's going to come down to the spot.
I thought perhaps he was going to throw it, but it looks to me like he's going to be about a yard shy.
You wonder almost if that was an option there, because it was clearly thrown behind him, and Cuero thought he had the room. And he comes up about a half a yard shy, and that should do it for the Gauchos. 1:31 to go, and now the Mounties can come out and just finish it off, leading 45-7. Want to pass along all our thanks. I want to give special thanks here to a guy who's helped us out throughout all our broadcasts, and I haven't been able to mention him enough, but all the graphics that you see done by Matt Henson does a tremendous job for us, helping in so many capacities. So special thanks to Matt. Don't get enough chance to say that, but great member of the team, and Matt now living out of state, so we miss him, but still part of the broadcast, so we really appreciate all the help from Matt. Of course, Mike Cepeda helping to put the production together, as always, coming out here and getting this together for us, so we appreciate all the help that Mike does. And, of course, Brad Hoyseth, thank you so much for coming in and joining us on the broadcast. Really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and appreciate your insights as well, so thanks so much for hanging out.
No, you're very welcome. It's always nice to come in and do a little pinch hitting in a pinch. And
yeah.
I wish
exactly. We needed you off that bench.
It would have been nice. I think everybody agrees that's watching or here at the game that we'd had a little more competitive football game, but had to make the best of it. And the Gauchos had their chances, and just kind of a few little penalties here and there really kept a couple of those Mountie drives alive. When, if they could have gotten a couple of stops along the way, and but both offensively and defensively, it just seemed like there was
the Gauchos,
a blocking point. There was something was going to stop them on every drive from either getting a stop or making a 1st down. It seemed like every time you turned around, there was some sort of little mistake that cost you.
The Gauchos didn't do themselves any favors tonight, but I think the headline here is they ran into a buzzsaw too tonight. This was a tremendous performance by the Mounties, and the Gauchos hurt themselves, to be sure, but they were really overmatched pretty much from the opening gun here tonight.
Yeah, Steven Nava, just off the charts, really. I don't know what his final numbers are going to be, but he had to have thrown for, somewhere in the area of 350 and 5 touchdowns. And
yeah, it certainly was 5 touchdowns.
It seems like they at least had 250, 300 yards rushing as well.
They really poured it on. Of course, we want to pass along special thanks as well to Dan Kloss and Jerry Hanula here at Saddleback College. Dan Kloss for helping to make this possible. Jerry Hanula for all his help helping us with all the information as well that we get tonight and helping us get situated here as well. And one last person we definitely want to thank, Turner Knight, who stepped in, handled the camera work for us tonight. We can't do that if we don't get people who come in here and help us out on camera, so we really appreciate Turner. Great job from him stepping in and helping us out in that capacity. It is a final score from Mission Viejo. Final score tonight, 45-7. Mount San Antonio College, most impressive, moves to 4-1 on the season. With the loss, the Gauchos now drop to 2-3. Both teams head into the bye week. They'll be back in action on October 13th. For everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, I am Jeff Stoynoff. So long, everybody.